Extreme Foolishness TV here. This is where I talk about extreme foolishness that goes on around us. I'll be talking to you guys today about a St. Louis man who got into an argument with a homeless man, apparently. This dude loaded his weapon in broad daylight and executed the homeless man. This was not done in darkness. I'll play the video, but I'm not going to show the part where the man was executed. I'll put the link in the description so you guys can watch it for yourself if you like that kind of drama. Let's play the video here.
It sounded like a fucking... I said that was a gunshot.
First of all, this dude appears to be middle-aged. Apparently, they got into an argument earlier, and this man is loading his gun. This guy's sitting down. I'm like, why is he not trying to run? He's loading that weapon. Getting ready. He looks around. Looks around. He looks around. He's getting ready. Getting ready. The man has his hands up. I'm just going to stop it here. The news had something to say about it. Let's see what they're talking about here. Let me see what the news is talking about here. See what they're talking about. They talking about here. Let's make this bigger. Let's make this bigger. See what they're talking about.
Shooting in downtown St. Louis is now making national headlines. These are still images from a video that shows an execution-style shooting on the sidewalk. This is in the middle of the day. We're talking 10 a.m.
The suspect, Deshawn Thomas, was in court for the first time today. Ryan Henson was there as a judge denied his bond, and he is in studio with more details on today's hearing. Ryan.
So in court today, Deshawn Thomas first said he wanted to delay his bond hearing so he could speak with an attorney. After a second thought, he decided to proceed with the hearing, and then the judge denied his bond. Meanwhile, video of the brazen attack is now being shared across the world.
Images from the video captured by a bystander at the nearby Globe building show the attack Monday morning in downtown St. Louis. Police say the suspect, 23-year-old Deshawn Thomas.
He's just 23 years old. The suspect, he's just 23. What is the foolishness, people? We live in a gun culture. Everyone thinks every dispute, not everyone, but a lot of these fools think that every dispute got to be resolved by executing and shooting somebody. It's like you can't even just walk away and say, hey, now you're going to throw your whole life away because you got into an argument with a homeless man and you were so hurt that you felt like you had to take that man's life. This is the problem when you have a lot of these dudes raised by single mothers. That is a big problem. They don't know how to be men. They're too emotional. They feel like resorting to violence is a way of displaying your masculinity. That is what they think. He probably thinks, I'm a real figure because you got a gun and shot an unarmed person in cold blood and broad daylight.
First got into an argument with the victim at a nearby gas station. They eventually came to the 700 block of North Tucker Boulevard, where police say Thomas shot 40-year-old David Saldana in the back and then again in the head after he begged for his life.
So that man was shot in the back and in the head after he begged for his life. This is the callousness of some of these dudes walking around. Over an argument? Now this guy's about to throw his whole life away. He's probably going to spend the rest of his life in prison.
Detectives utilized surveillance footage to track the suspect's movements from the time of the incident to the time of his arrest.
The story has been circulating on the Daily Mail, New York Times, and other major news outlets. But while startling, police believe the crime wasn't random.
It is believed that this incident involved a personal dispute between the suspect and the victim.
During Thomas's bond hearing Wednesday afternoon,
Look at the face of this fool. Was even trying to get bond. So you want to do the crime, but you don't want to do the time. Like, I don't get it. You want bond. You want your freedom. But while you were loading your gun and shooting that man, didn't you think about it that you could lose your freedom, that you could spend the rest of your life in prison? And was it worth it? Wasn't he thinking about that? These dudes are emotional. That is the problem.
a lawyer said the suspect is homeless, suffers from mental illness, drug dependency, and is a previous victim of violent crime.
Some of these lawyers are full of shit. Suffers from mental illness, drug dependency, and is a previous victim of a violent crime. Some of these lawyers are full of shit. Sometimes you just need to tell your client, hey, just stay. Just stay. You kill somebody, just stay in jail, stay in prison right now, or whatever it is. You don't need bond. Who's going to give this dude bond? I know you got to go there as the lawyer and make an argument, but sometimes you look stupid. You can't save everybody. Sometimes you just got to work out a deal and call it a day. This guy is a danger to the community. Any slightest argument, he's ready to kill somebody. If he can kill somebody in broad daylight, he doesn't deserve bond. Some of these lawyers are full of shit. Not in every case you got to go there and just feel like you got to make an argument. You got to make an argument. Sometimes you just got to tell a client, bro, sit your ass in prison. You're dusty. You're dusty. He should tell him, hey, maybe I can get you life in prison versus the death penalty. Or maybe you can get him 30, 40 years versus life. Or maybe life with parole versus life without parole. But asking for a bond, if he has mental illness and all the stuff that the lawyer is claiming he has, that's the more reason he needs to stay in prison, because that mental illness can cause him to kill somebody else. So it's still a danger. Every argument the lawyer is making is the reason he needs to stay behind bars. And it's good the judge did not give his dusty ass bond. It feels like public executions should be brought back. I'm sorry. Because this crime is getting crazy. It's just a crime fiesta all across. Atlanta, St. Louis, Chicago, Detroit, New Orleans. What is going on?
Meanwhile, investigators say law enforcement officials, including police captains, are working on solutions to crime downtown.
He is actively meeting with different residential groups as well as some of the businesses in the area to kind of work together to come up with different types of patrol plans that could be revamped or revised to provide more patrol coverage down there, as well as meeting with problem properties to see what businesses or locations.
SLMPD will beef up traffic patrol, and several venues have hired extra.
No matter how much police presence you have, if you don't target crime at its source, you will still have a crime problem. Police typically respond to a crime scene, but prevention is better than cure. You have to find a way to reduce a lot of these single mother homes, especially in the Black community, where 3 out of 4 kids are born to single mother homes. Because the men are not disciplining these kids. A lot of those women cannot raise men. They're too soft on this man. There's no structure. These men grew up without the guidance, the discipline, and the structure that a man provides. So they end up being juvenile delinquents, and they're the ones who end up being like this. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, people. This is getting tiring and exhausting, that you have crime become so pervasive, especially gun violence in the United States. especially in all the cities, these urban areas. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, like this channel. Stay safe out there, my lovely people. And most importantly, say no to extreme foolishness.